Survival in the desert on Earth is difficult, so imagine what it would be like to survive on another planet. A film that shows the extraordinary energy of man. We do not submit to all circumstances. That is, The Martian. Mark is a member of the Mars expedition team. One day, the crew encountered a dangerous storm. They must evacuate back to space. While moving, Mark was hit by a component and lost consciousness. The crew couldn't find him. There was no other way. The rest had to leave Mark alone. Everyone assumed Mark was dead. But luckily, he is still alive. A metal bar was plugged into his suit. Oxygen was still enough for him. Trying to get back to the research station, he sewed the wound back. The first problem is food. All the food on the grounds is enough for only 1 year. The next Mars expedition mission takes place in as early as 4 years. Mark did not want to starve. When he went to the toilet, he thought of one thing. The base still has a bag of raw potatoes. He wants to grow potatoes on Mars. The crew waste is perfectly preserved. Mars soil is not suitable for farming. It all depends on those beagle bags. Mark builds a greenhouse to grow vegetables on Mars. But there's another problem. It's water. He needs a large amount of water. But the water in the base was just enough for him to drink, cannot be used to water plants. But he's a scientist. Making water is easy and quick. After many trials, finally, there were condensation droplets on the plastic fabric. Potatoes have sprouted. He can go on living. An observer discovered devices on Mars have movement. The leader of the expedition team on Earth wants to investigate whether Mark is still alive or not. The company director refused. He thought that the equipment was moved by the wind. But the commander did not lose hope to confirm whether the Mark car is well fixed or not. The commander wanted to save Mark, so he silently reported the whole incident to the media. The whole world knew Mark was still alive. They want to use rockets to launch food into space. Give him enough food for 4 years. One scientist says, making rockets takes 6 months. 3 months, he said. We'll do our best, says the scientist. Mark was alone on Mars. Potatoes are ready to eat. If nothing happens, he can endure up to 4 years later. The expedition team's next landing site is 50 days away from him. He checked the performance of the car first. But at night the temperature in the car will drop to -16 degrees Celsius. He digs up the radioactive isotope heat detector, use it as a heater. He found the Mars Pathfinder. It was launched in 1997. Pathfinder's communication system has not failed yet, can communicate with the Earth. But the machines of 1997 could only take still images to transmit back to the Earth. They talked letter by letter. Speaking for 30 days, engineers on Earth showed Mark how to upgrade his communications. The first sentence he sent back to Earth was, "Their chats are being broadcast live globally. Food and travel problems are solved." But one day, the potato growing room was broken. All potatoes are dead. There is no way to replant them. Mark faced the problem of running out of food again. The remaining amount of food is only enough for 600 days. The fastest food supplies to space would take 800 days to arrive. They finished building rockets that bring food to Mars, but when it was launched, the missile exploded. They don't have time to create new ones. If they didn't save Mark quickly, he would surely die. Meanwhile, China decided to suspend their plans, let NASA borrow their rockets. A guy comes up with a way to rescue Mark without supplying him with extra food. Good idea, but leaders disagree. Leader for not taking a risk, forbid the expedition team from coming back to pick him up. But the commander on Earth surreptitiously told the whole incident to the expedition team. After thinking for a while, the teammates gathered, decided to go on a rescue mission. They changed the operating parameters of the spacecraft, so the director has to follow them. With Chinese help, supplies were brought to the expedition team. Mark survived 461 days. He must go to the launch site. On the way, he got a bad news again. The speed of the missile is not enough. Even if Mark flew up, there was no way to connect with the crew. The only way is to reduce the weight of the missile. Abandon spare space clothing. The seats are thrown away, so is the compartment cover. But it's still not enough. They have to throw away a few hundred kilograms. What else can be removed? The front spoiler weighs more than 400 kilograms. You want to let him fly into space with a canvas? Exactly. That is his only chance. The shock force was so great that he fainted. The whole world watched on his journey back. The missile has not reached its expected altitude, 68 kilometers left. The expedition team made a bold decision. They blew up a compartment in the spacecraft, but with the thrust of the explosion, the spacecraft still could not reach him. 200 meters left. But in space, 1 meter is also the distance of death. One of the expedition team decided to go out into space to pull Mark back to the spacecraft. He did something even more dangerous. He punctured a hole in the suit and used that thrust to fly towards the spacecraft. 10 meters, 5 meters, 1 meter in the end. They pass each other. But for 461 days on Mars, Mark never gave up. He tried to go back. He was successful. All the crew, everyone on Earth are very happy. The Martian is not a story about only one person who has stubbornly survived. The film praises the highest quality of mankind. It is optimism, resilience, courageous, not giving up life. Do you like this video? What film do you want me to do next? Comment below. Like and share for more. Thanks for watching.